Okay, I want to say good evening to everyone that is on this broadcast today, and I really appreciate you guys for taking the time to log on and listen to this podcast. I believe we all know what is going on, and we're quite aware of the the measures of how the COVID-19 coronavirus is infiltrating the globe, which has been stated to be a pandemic that is being a global threat. So there's a lot that has not been said, and a lot of people might currently be taking the situation the wrong way, and it's not for you to be blamed. I see that the whole issue has caused people to react in different ways. Let me put it clearly to you. You would see people who have the joy and derive that joy in spreading any news that brings out fear and panic. That is a set of people that are reacting to this in such a way. So most of these people are just all about finding information to give out in the name of awareness. But awareness is really following what exactly is going on. That's the stats, and telling people about the preventive measures. But these people are not all about awareness. These people are all about anything that brings out the fear. That's anything that sounds scary. This is what you need to understand. These people are fears. They don't know how to express it or how to contain it. So they feel like everybody should feel the way they feel. So most of these people are people who cannot or who do not really have anything to hold on to, and in the course of their own fear, they are trying to replicate that and want other people to feel exactly the same. So that is one set of people you're going to see. They will carry whatever information they see, whatever blog news they see, and they will post it and post and just say a lot of things like the world is coming to an end, and tell you we're in trouble. Listen, guess what? We're dead. There's going to be this, and I feel this is just out of their own. They are scared, They don't know how to handle the situation. So because of their fear, they want to feel alright to be afraid by making other people afraid. So you need to understand this about them. These people are not spreading awareness. They are only spreading panic and fear. And if you want to be aware of the situation, whatever you're listening, there's a lot of things going on in the news, but it should not make you afraid. Okay? It should not make you afraid. It should just basically make you understand what is going on and the gratitude of it, and how we should take it seriously, and how exactly we should react to it, and how we should take whatever measures we need to take seriously. That is basically what you need to understand from it. So don't be in a case of panic or spreading or joining these people to broadcast what exactly would not help people to get better and prevent this case. So instead of you broadcasting a situation where people are typing the word is coming to an end, or a prophecy where something is this, you can broadcast, rather help the person close to you and broadcast, okay, this is getting serious, let them take the preventive measures given seriously. Okay, so be that person to broadcast something that will help the next person Don't be that person too, because of you being scared. Broadcast it and want everybody to be shouting, because a lot of people derive joy from, not like they derive joy directly, but for them not to feel alone in their insecurities, they tend to want to broadcast this. But all in all, I'm going to just go through. I'm going to make this quick and go through a lot of things. Then sorry. So I'm going to go through this. So that is a set of people. The other set of people are, okay, is that categorizing, because most people fall under that category. The other set of people are just people who by faith are supposed to be able to encourage and give people words to get them through these times, but still they're just not really understanding what's going on, feeling like God has vengeance of God in this thing. What people don't get is that when it comes to cases of God, of deaths and plagues, okay, God doesn't, even when it comes to the time of Egypt where the plagues came, God himself doesn't cause plagues. Okay, so for viruses like this, I can tell you that God is not the one causing it. So you need to debunk any news that tells you that God is doing this, God is love, and beforehand he has seen it coming and he's going to show us and help us through, because he is our help and everything. So that is it. So for that kind of man where people are saying the vengeance of God and God is trying to clean the world, he's not that kind of person. Okay, he's not a person, but he's not that kind of personality. God is love, and you have to understand that about God, and he's ready to help us out of this. Okay, because if God causes the bad things, they will put the bad people as the demons, all these things. And okay, so you just need to understand that part, that God is not the cause of this. Okay, God is not the cause of this, and he's powerful enough to stop it. He is, and he will, and we'll all see this, because he will. So that is also one thing we need to put in place. Okay, then now we understand the place where Nigeria is right now, and we can't be compared to the US and everything, but this is what you need to understand. Even the US is shaken by this thing. So literally, this is not a question of being developed or not. Okay, so get this. This is shaking Italy, shaking Europe. These are the developed countries. Okay, so it is not a question of being developed or not, or having facility or not. People should understand this. These people have millions of dollars, billions and trillions to buy hand sanitizers and vitamin C's and face masks. But if that was enough, then it will not be this case. So we need to understand this is beyond hand sanitizers. Although you have to, observe the precautions given to you, which is wise for you to do. What I want you to understand is that this is beyond hand sanitizers and face masks, because if that was it to prevent anything, that means that it will not spread in the US as it is right now, and other part of Europe and places. See, if we even neglect Africa and say, okay, Africa is not that developed, we're talking about developed countries being affected and being threatened by this pandemic. So basically, we're going to just go into what God thinks about this and how we should react to it. So I want you to understand something, that if you have Jesus, okay, if you have Jesus, you need to stay on the word. That means you need to stay on Jesus throughout those times. So I'm here to help you to understand who you are. There's not a lot of people who are just God help us. It's not the God please on status that will help you. So you don't pray to God on your WhatsApp status. Learn to pray to God outside that. You don't, because that is literally just showing the word. I don't really understand the concept of that. But it's not about praying to God on your WhatsApp status as a caption. You need to really pray to God, because stuff like this could get serious, and you need to be serious about it. It's not about how would I put it, making comedy skits out of it, or because everybody's afraid. It's not going to be a good thing. It might not touch you, okay, but this is how it is. When I had the case of the lady, the woman with that baby, a 6 weeks old baby, it touched me, because how would she feel? So it is not all about you. This is not a selfish one. It's not only about protecting yourself and your family. So it's literally about interceding for other people, because as you are, as we are in Christ, we can feel the states for other people, and we can understand how they will feel at this particular time. And in their minds, they're just looking on to the mercy of God for recovery and everything. So we need to try our best to, make actual prayers, not the captions on WhatsApp that doesn't have the word, and not the God please in quote prayer. Okay, so I want to just likely take this time to show you who you are in Christ, what you should hold on to, how we should react, what we should do, and so we move through these times and we'll see the power of God move. Okay, so I'm going to open to John, the book of John, chapter 14. John chapter 14 verse 11. Okay. So, John 14 verse 11. Open that to the book of John chapter number 14 verse number 11. He said, "Believe me that I am in the Father and the Father in me, or else believe me for the very work's sake." So Jesus is saying, now a lot of times explain that when you see Jesus, you see God. Okay? So now Jesus is saying, believe me that I am in the Father and the Father in me. And in the Bible, in a part of the Bible, you see that Jesus was described as the express image of God. Okay? That means when you see Jesus, you see God. Alright? And what Jesus is saying here is believe me. Okay? He said, take this part. I am in the Father and the Father is in me. So if Jesus being like my inner, that is inside me, is the Father, my outer is the Father. So literally when you see me, I am the Father. Okay? Are you getting this? So you see me, you see the Father. You touching me, you're touching the Father. You reacting to me, you're reacting to the Father. So that is what. So if this statement directly linked to Jesus being the express image of God. Okay? And this statement he made, I, the Father in me, he said, believe me, because what? 11 says, because I am in the Father and the Father in me. This statement, if this statement categorically, directed Jesus as being the express image of God. He said the same thing in verse 20 about you. Okay? And he said, at that day you shall know that I am in my Father, and ye in me, and I in you. So Jesus said the exact same thing about you. He said you will believe that I am in you, and you are in me. So it makes you the express image of Jesus. Okay? Are we getting this? So you need to stay on that word. Okay? I in my Father, the Father in me. And he said the same statement about me. He said he is in me and I in him. I'm lost somewhere in the middle. He is my inner, is my outer. So he's inside, is outside. Jesus in my front, by my side, by my left, by my back, at my back, by my northwest, northeast is my covering, and is also my inner. So he's saying that about you, meaning there's a connection between you and being the express image of Jesus. This is the word you need to stand on. This is a very powerful verse, and basically it is one, if you have been given the revelation of it, you would see how this verse can help you to understand the power you have in Jesus, and how you should understand that. Because when you fully understand who you are, you know that you carry the presence of God. So wherever you are, God is. So wherever you are, Jesus is, because Jesus stated that. He said you will believe at that day that I am in you and you in me. The same statement he said about Abraham. So this statement linked directly to you being an express image of Jesus. So anything that touches you touches Jesus. Anything that draws close to you, you carry the presence of God, and you need to be in the consciousness of that always. Okay? You need to be in the consciousness of that always. That you moving is Jesus moving. Jesus in you, you in Jesus. So as you're moving, you carry Jesus. You carry the presence of God. So anything that can touch God is what can touch you. Anything that can affect God is what can affect you. Okay? So you need to hold on to these verses. John 14:11, John 14:20. I would say take the time to go through this and read it, and deeply pray, deep this word, the word of God, into your subconscious, and hold on to it. Okay, and know that you are the express image of God. So I'm also going to take another verse, so we get this. Okay. So we're going to go to Ephesians 5, chapter number 5, verse number 30. Ephesians chapter number 5, verse number 30. So he said, for we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. So this statement is complementing what I just said. Now, he said we are members of his body, of his flesh, of his bone. You are a member of his body, of his flesh, of his bone. So meaning that you are part of his body. Member is part. Part meaning that your hand is a part of your body, your finger is a part of your body, your legs, your tummy, whatever part you see we are members of his body. We are members, his hands, his fingers, his body, like what his body comprises of. So when you talk about a member of the body, can you ever touch a hot pot with your hand and not feel it? You would. The whole body will feel it. because it is connected. Even when you feel it in your hand, you know what it is that you just talk about it. And that's why the mouth will react and say, like, ouch. Okay? So, we are members of his body, of his flesh, of his bones. So we should understand that we are attached to Jesus always. And whatever we touch us, we touch Jesus. Okay? So we are attached to Jesus always. And whatever we touch us, we touch Jesus. He is in us and we in him. So we are an express image of him. We carry him in us. And he carries us. So it is the same exact statement made about him and the Father, how they operate. That is the same exact statement making about you and him, how you operate. So you need to understand his consciousness and go with it. I carry Jesus. Whatever touches me touches Jesus. I'm a member of his body. Whatever touches me touches Jesus. Whatever affects me affects Jesus. So he is aware of that. These things you understand. You will tell the thing. Whatever situation touches my family touches Jesus. That is one. So you have to understand you are a member of his body, of his flesh, of his bone. Nothing can touch you. Corona got nothing on you. Okay? So you have to carry this consciousness always. Alright. Always. Now, I'm going to take a verse, very popular one, and I'm going to try to explain it. There's a reason why I took the verse to explain these things and position in Christ for you to hold on to as you pray and as you move on, because there's a need for us to pray. Okay? This is not, it doesn't have to do with anything being afraid of something or not, but there's a need for us to. Okay? Because if the opposition is not taking any time to rest, then we shouldn't take any time to rest. Okay? That means if the virus is not slowing down, we should not slow down. So we should create the opposition needed, to battle this thing. Okay. So if we go to Psalms, that's the book of David, Psalms of David. When they call this COVID-19, this is David 91. So the kind of rhymes and all. So go to Psalms 91. I'm going to read this. It said, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover us with his feathers, and under his wings shall we trust. His truth shall be our shield and buckler." He said this, verse 5. He said, "For we shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day." So we shall not be afraid for the corona that flieth by day. Okay? Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. He said, 1,000 shall fall at our side, and 10,000 at our right hand side, but it shall not come near us. Only with our eyes shall we behold and see the reward of the wicked. So, on and on and on, you can always take this verse, because it explains a lot about our place and how it is, because you have to understand that he that dwelleth in the secret place, the word dwelleth there comes from the Greek word is it chapal something, that's the word dwelleth, and means to properly sit. The primitive root word is to properly sit. So to properly sit means you are unmoved. Okay, you are moved, you are rooted. That is the reason why I gave the word from the Bible in the first place, for you to use that word. as a root for your faith. Okay, so whatever faith you carry, you believe and you trust in God, but rather than open, use that word for your faith. Dip it into your consciousness for your family, for your loved ones, for your friends, for the nation, for the globe. Okay, and you root it into your subconscious and use that word for your faith. Then you understand that you would sit properly in the secret place of the Lord. So you will sit properly. When you say properly seated, is somebody that understands his place. Okay, so if that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. So the word that Shabbat, okay, in the secret place of the Most High, meaning that if that properly sits in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. So you will take the word of God and properly sit it in your subconscious and use that word as a root word for your faith, because faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word of God. Faith is not just trust or hope, it is from the word of God, because we believe that the word doesn't fail. The word is Jesus, and God himself is the word of God that is from the Creator. Okay, so we understand that and use that word as a root for your faith during these seasons. Okay, that nothing can touch you. So 91, dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And I shall say, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. So everything you can read that up and you understand a place in God, dwelling in the secret place. This is it. This is how it is. This is what you will see. So a lot will fall at your right hand side. But as I said this, it is not going to be a selfish thing. It's not about it, you preventing it from you only. Okay, we have to also be ready to help others, because people that are infected and people that are getting this use, and it's not their plan. These are people with children, these are people with kids and people at home, and you have to just really understand this point, and we have to try our best. This is not a matter of people or a matter of religion or a matter of this. A lot of people say, okay, can prayer solve this? Because you don't really understand what prayer is. A lot of people get this. If people are fighting prayer, say, okay, we should have more scientists and we should have more technicians and we should have more these things, this and that, and said religion won't help us right now. Of a truth, religion won't. But from the root word of people saying that, this is one thing that I deduce: they do not believe in God. I know that's the opposition of what they think. They think they do. Because if you truly believe in a God and believe that God exists, then you understand that He's the creator of man and He decides what's happened to man. And if you do that and you see prayer as a problem to you right now, that means talking to who originated everything in the first place, then you really don't believe that there's an originator of everything in the first place. So you don't need to argue with them or have a problem with them. They need to, because if you truly say you believe that there's a supreme God who runs the affairs of men and who created man now, and something is a threat to the existence of man, won't it be logical, if you're thinking logical, to make communion with the God that created man? But if you feel that the communion is stupid, and that means that you really do not have the belief you think you have. Okay, you believe there's nothing that has to do with God in this, because there's probably no God to assist, and man has to take up responsibilities, which is good. Man has to take up responsibilities and do things. But this is what it has just shown us, and from the start we see is, if this is going to, which is not the case, move. You see how it moves and all. I don't think science really can stop it. If that is how it should move, a lot of things are happening, and good news, bad news, everything mixed together. But still and still, this is still upon the earth, and we should take our time to pray. Very, very important. Very, very important, because there's a God, and He's aware of all these things, and we should call on Him, because all in all, we should always let Him know what we do. You get what I mean? So, if you truly have to believe that there's a God, okay, He's merciful and He's loving, your tiny prayer can make a difference. Okay, the tiny prayer can make a difference. I saw a vision as I was praying about it, and basically I was not. I wanted to broadcast, talk about it, but it's really not. Because I saw demand behind everything, and I could describe it. I would say something was in the nature of an animal. It possessed. It was not flying, but it was a fast jumping animal. I won't state what kind of animal it is, but it was it's an animal that had the characteristics of basic jump, something like that. It could move fast. It doesn't need to walk. It could move fast on branches and move and move and move and move and move and move and go where it wants to go, And I saw some other things, but there's no to really cause to fear anything, because the battle is won, okay? So we need to put in more efforts to get this over with, because we have other things to do, and we all have our normal lives to get back to, so we just need to get this over with and continue what we have to do. So to understand this now, in James 5 verse 16, James 5 verse 16, get that, sorry, James 5 verse 16, it says, confess your faults one to another, pray for one for another, raise him up. Okay, sorry, I think I just skipped out my eyes. Pray for one for another, that ye may be healed. Okay, it says, the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. So what it means there by the effectual fervent prayer means that to put to work, okay, be consistent. When you say you put to work, it's a consistent process. The effectual fervent prayer. So it's the word effectual fervent means energio in Greek, which means to put to work. The energy. It's not really the shout, it's to put to work. When you say you put to work, that means to put in motion. That means it's continuously going. So we are doing this not once, but continuously until we get the result. So the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. It means makes power available. So the power we need. Okay? This is Nigeria. This is our country. It would be very stupid for us to pray every day for money, and then a virus comes and the Jesus we believe in, suddenly we close him in the closet and we run and we're hiding and we're closing our doors and robbing, closing. If it is coming to Nigeria, I believe that we should take our stance at it, because this thing is not really, it's not about really, it is not physical. It is not. If you still think it is about just one virus flying around, it is not. I tell you that. Okay? I tell you that. It screams. That's its reaction in the spirit. And, okay. This is midnight and I'm making this to understand this. So really, effectual means to put to work continuous. And when I saw the vision, I saw it here, okay, because we've confirmed cases here, and I saw it wants to move, okay, the way it's usually move. That means with speed and everything. But I saw people, okay. What I'm saying, what I saw basically is that the cases was saying is not the speed it wants to move in. It wants to move faster. It wants to take people faster, kill faster, infect faster. But it is being limited because of people. And I looked to my right and I saw a plain of field, like a very, very big land space. And in that land space, I saw people individually, just 1, 2, 3, not much, not small, but not much. Because you see much, that's like multitude of it. But this was not multitude, there were people in selected location. And I saw them holding a light. And this light was what I was scared of. And what I was able to, because that is just it, and there's a lot I need to understand more about it. But what I would say is that, no matter how small the prayer is, it will really make an effect. Okay, because God sees the heart. But there's a lot of prayer that prayed, okay, being small, growing up, and everything. And when a prayer comes from your heart, you don't need to be with anybody. Nobody needs to see you. So if you're shy of it, nobody needs to see you. He said God is a rewarder of. He said those that will pray in secret, He reward them in the open. So nobody needs to see you. But what I can say is you can join us and join. This has become a general problem, and it has put a lot of things to a pause. People are out of work. Some companies are sacking people, children are out of school. So it is not my problem anymore. It's become our problem. So what I would say we should do is, if it's a prayer from your heart to God, okay, in any way you can speak it, any way you can say it, just for the people who are suffering and for everything, So God hears us. He is going to hear. This is this confidence we have in Him. Okay, that whatever we ask, He will answer, and we will see that He answers. But this is the move we have to make. Okay, because there's some people holding light and it was reacting to the light. This is intercession, the prayer of intercession. So we need to be more. We need to try and do this. We need to see. It's not going to make sense to everybody, but I'm going to tell you what is the harm in trying. Because right now I don't see anybody having any option. And I'm not saying this to bring out fear. No, you can't be afraid of anything. Okay, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of sound mind. So in this thing we are saying with a sound mind, with boldness, that we know that in due time this will go, this will pass. Okay? So we need to put our prayers to work to make power available. Consistency over time till when we sort out these issues and things get back to normal. Okay, so basically I just made this to address the issue the way I can. Don't be a spreader of panic. The time you use to copy news from one place, it doesn't do anything. The panic doesn't stop anything, doesn't add to anything. It just spreads fear. And people are shifting up and down. So spreading the number of deaths really is not helping. Basically, let people watch it on the news. If you want to watch it on the news. But one thing I can say you should do that will help is pray. Okay? Pray and let people take the preventive measures they're supposed to. Okay? This is the thing about it. Now, giving you a word to stand on is not everybody that we have the level of faith that we need to have. Okay, so it is required that as you pray, okay, you try and make the impact of letting people be aware of what they need to do, how they need to live, how they need to, take the measures given to them for prevention. Okay, as I said, this is not spiritual. We're not battling spiritual. This is spiritual. We're not battling physically. We're battling spiritually. But it's good that you let people know. So rather than all your list full with the end of the world rumors and what somebody is saying, which is really not helpful. Okay, it's not. Make an awareness to somebody to do this, to wash their hands, to use sanitizers, to stay indoors if they can, to do these measures like that, and make awareness for somebody close to you to pray. Alright, because this is what you need to understand. It's not the hand sanitizers. If it was hand sanitizers, then the big guys wouldn't be worried. Get this. So this is not a broadcast to make you afraid of anything. This is a broadcast to let you know what to do, how to react. We are members of His body, members of Christ. Anything that touches us touches Christ, and nothing can touch us, because nothing can touch Christ. Okay? So get this. But if this is in our territory, this is our world, not His own world, this is where we live, then it is looking for trouble. And we have to give it trouble at once. We can't make it easy for it. It has come to Nigeria, come on. We can't make it easy for it. Okay, right. So we're going to keep tab to the news, keep tab to everything, and we're battling according to stats. So we're seeing the stats, we're battling. This is not a prayer, blind prayer. This is a battle. So we must know we are winning. Okay? And we must thank God for every win, because we will. So don't be afraid. Do what is right. Let people do what is right, and let us all gather and take preventive measures and measures against this thing. Let us pray fervently. Put our prayers to work every time. Okay? Don't let it be on WhatsApp. Alright? Because you have, as a person is, we know a lot of people. You have extended. You have people, friends to friends. So there's a lot of prayer you need to do, because if something spreads, it's very unlikely it doesn't touch somebody you know. So this is why you need to get to it. So we need to understand this is what we need to do. It's not about screenshotting or abusing the country or staying on Twitter or whatever somebody is saying on Twitter. The healing power of Jesus is real. I have seen it, and it is real. So we need to wonder on that. Okay? And walk towards this. So that is all I have to say about this, and I believe in our little way. I've said enough. Okay? It's not about talks. It's no more a joke, and it's no more anything to fear. Okay? Don't be afraid. God got us. You don't need to be afraid at all. But we need to do what we need to do. That is just what I'm here for. We need to do what we need to do. So, thank you so much for watching this. Subscribe button, click the notification button, and let's do what we need to do. Thank you. You have a nice day.